Jackson Baly, and welcome to another episode of Jackson Baly Spooks America. I'm Jackson Baly.
I'm Cass.
I'm Meso. Hello. I'm excited to be here. I'm working on a new catchphrase. Whoa! I'm spooking out over here.
Oh,
pretty good.
that's
right?
good.
That's a good
So
one.
if you could give me some content that I can add to that. With.
Okay, look, it'll probably come up. And when it comes up,
great.
hit me up with the catchphrase.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is the Galapagos Island murders. Okay, does that strike any chord for you? Oh, I guess you could have said it then.
No, the moment's passed.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
totally on
Also,
me.
I don't like being led. If I'm gonna panic.
Yeah, no,
I'd
that's
be like, oh no,
that's-
no, thank you.
That's my fault.
Look, all I know about the Galapagos Islands is turtles.
There are many turtles
really
there.
big ones.
Does that mean they do murders?
Well, I'm sure if one landed on you, you could get suffocated beneath one, but that's not how anyone died in
How
this
would it
story.
land on you?
If somebody dropped
From
it.
above, sure. Okay.
So,
That's not the turtle's fault. Anyway,
I could. Oh, maybe the turtle jumped.
it's the 1930s. I
Okay.
don't know if turtles can. It's the 1930s, and Frederick Ritter and Dor Strauch decide to move to the island of Floriana, which is one of the islands in the Galapagos, to get away from the humdrum, busy city life.
So did you door?
Dor, that's her name, D-O-R-E.
are they
Okay.
a couple or are these two?
They're a couple. They're a
branching
couple.
Timelines? Okay.
Okay.
These aren't two separate stories that collide together later. Okay.
But this has got quite a colourful cast of characters, so stick with me. So Frederick and Dor are strict Nietzschean followers. And so before they arrive on the island, Frederick removes all of his teeth.
What? No, those aren't related.
Frederick does this to stop. He's like, I'm not going to eat well on the island and I will have dental problems. So before I get to that, I'll remove all my teeth. And he has a set of metal dentures that he uses. When they arrive on the island, Dor, her teeth rot as well. And so she gets her teeth removed on the island and they share the set of metal dentures.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Isn't that lovely?
It is. Brings people together. I like that.
That makes me think of, because you know when people like talk about if you get a partner, you can like share clothes with them and stuff.
Yeah, share
and
teeth.
it's like, oh, but like the dream is to like have the same shoe size as your partner so you can share shoes. But that's the ultimate dream.
What I think is really funny about that is that presumably there was like a discussion before they moved to Floriana where Frederick was like, take your teeth out, Dor, babe. You're going to regret it if you don't. And she's like, no, I won't, you maniac. And then she got like how smug when you're pulling her teeth out on the island, being like, now you got to share my dentures, babe.
Babe, I don't want to say I told you so, but
I told you so.
who's laughing now?
They also, they're all vegetarian. They live mostly nude because that's part of apparently their philosophy. And they excessively masticate anything they eat. So they're big chewers, which I guess is why the dentures are important. So...
Is
Big
that
on
part of
chewing.
Nietzschean philosophy?
I don't know how any of this is relevant
Okay.
to Nietzsche,
All right.
but apparently they're big Nietzsche fans. So, they live in the island for a period of time. They become quite famous. Even though they're these big weirdos, when news about them spreads to the rest of the world, people are like, they're the Adam and Eve of the Galapagos, even though they're just two maniacs living nude on an island.
It's that famous couple that didn't brush their teeth.
Oh, I forgot they were nude. I was so hung up on the teeth and the excessive chewing.
Which is crazy. The excessive chewing, I kind of get it from... Like, Dor should have taken her teeth out before they came. If you know you're going to be doing that much chewing on the island... You know, why not stack
Get
the
rid
odds
of
in
the
your
things
favor?
that chew.
No, but you get metal teeth instead. Anyway, so, oh no, what have I done here? Oh boy.
Get more done with J-Mar, that's all I know.
Oh no, I didn't mean to be... oh no, we're good. Oh god. Zamet, help! Oh no, it's fine. I figured it out. Sorry, I became afraid of Google Docs for a second. So...
Sounds like you're adopting the Nietzschean philosophy in some way. Is that what they do?
Shut it down so that you don't need to open it again, I think.
Oh boy, why is this... This isn't what I wanted to open. Zamet, help!
Zamet's going to have to cross the streams
gonna
and
have
also
to-
the camera view. So.
Somehow
Hey.
I've lost my email. I guess it's red now. Everything?
Everything.
Yeah.
Let's see what chat's up to. How you doing,
There we
chat?
go. I found it again. So...
Okay, don't close. All right.
No.
No, go back to there.
This is the one. I figured it out. We're good again.
Close down the chat, they're not important.
Shut it down,
The
shut it
viewers
down.
are not important.
So, word gets out and they become really popular. And so another family,
Popular, is that the word?
well,
Famous.
beloved by the world.
All right.
And so
No one loves a weirdo.
Heinz and Margaret Whitmer,
Oh no.
So
Along
we've
with-
got
you've got Frederick Witter. No, wait.
Ritter?
Frederick Ritter.
Frederick Ritter,
We've got Dor Strauch,
Dor Strauch,
and then Heinz and Margaret Whitmer.
Oh, the Ritters and the Whitmers. All
Yeah,
right.
exactly. It's going to get
Sounds
difficult.
like a couple of next door neighbours that are not going to get along.
They
Yes.
are not fans of one
Call
another.
them the Ritz and Wits.
They also come with their son, Harry, and they have a baby in a cave on the island named Rolf. The cave used to belong to pirates. And they go there, have their baby. They come because Harry is sick and they want to avoid, like, they're like, oh, the tropical air will make him well again. And he dies, so it didn't work. So what do we think so far? Where do you reckon the murder happens at this point in the story? Who do you think kills who? How does it go down?
Is there not going to be a murder in a cave? I would assume the cave is the
It's a
murder
good
location.
place to murder on
I
an
think so
island.
too, but
That's
also
true.
there's only one exit, right?
clever.
Generally speaking of a cave, if you're like, I've done this murder, guess I'll dig my way out the back, right?
I'll go up out the cave.
Yes.
Yeah.
I reckon we're going to have a classic case of two couples who realize that they're not both Nietzsche supporters.
Yeah, the Whitmers were just a very
Whitmers.
typical family.
The Whitmers are going to come in, see the one pair of metal dentures being shared betwixt the two, and think to themselves, I can't abide that.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing because the Whitmers came because they'd heard about Frederick and Dor and were like, oh my God, they're living the island paradise. And then getting there and being like, oh no, these nude maniacs excessively chewing fucking yams or whatever. Wow, this is not what I expected to find. So,
This is the softest, wettest couple, and I hate them.
so are you imagining that?
I think you're just jealous of them. I think you're jealous of their shiny dentures. I think there's a real keeping up with the Ritters kind of situation.
What point do you think you'd realize that they were sharing the dentures? Like you see
Day one. Day one.
Probably night one, because they'd be like, come over to our house for dinner.
Oh, that's true.
It's going to be sloppy vegetables out of a big stew pot of some sort, and then they'd be like, all right, my turn now. You know?
Imagine like you're sitting across from them and you chew your food regularly and then swallow and they're like, oh, only like 5 or 6 chews. Okay. And you see they're still on their first morsel as they're...
I think I would start to wonder if there was something wrong with me. Like, maybe I've been doing it wrong all these years.
Maybe-
These guys seem to be doing great.
No. You invite this couple over for dinner. They rock up naked.
Yeah.
One of them says, hi. The other one goes, hello. And then you both sit down for dinner. They're like, have a bite. You have a bite. One of the couple is sitting there waiting their turn. The other one's like, for a minute.
That is excessive
That
masturbation.
happens in front of you and you think, yes.
I wonder, of the two couples, though, who's more likely to do a murder?
That's
I mean,
true.
you would assume it's the lunatic.
No, see, I assume it's the sane person because you can't abide that.
Yeah, maybe that's probably true, yeah.
You can't come to an island and be
Yeah.
like, no, this changes too much about the
And I
world.
guess it is the little things. Like if somebody's going to drive you to murder, maybe it is the way you chew.
Exactly. Yeah.
for 2
That's
hours.
absolutely
For 2
a good
hours,
point. So, a third group arrive on the island. Don't worry, this is the final group.
Okay.
Baroness Eloise Werbon de Wagner Bosquet.
Oh, the Baroness. all right.
Bosket?
Bosquet, and her 2 lovers, Robert Philipson and Rudolph Lorenz. She arrives on the island in a whirlwind with 2 muscular lovers that she spends all the time frolicking around with.
Okay, so this
Yes.
is some sort of situation where she has 2 lovers that don't know about each other and she has to arrive twice off the ship just to switch outfits.
She's been swimming between 2 boats all day.
Yeah.
No, the lovers are well aware of the situation.
Okay.
It is a happy throuple thriving the island. Eloise arrives and she says she's going to set up a 5-star hotel, and she immediately declares herself Empress of the Galapagos.
So she's the Baroness and the Empress.
Yeah.
Greedy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Greedy.
goodness.
She carries with her, everywhere she goes, a pistol and a whip. And
Don't we
she
all?
parades the island as though she is in charge of everyone. With this new player in this island tale,
Yep.
where do you think the murder's coming from
Oh
now?
my goodness, you've added so many more murder weapons potentially.
I'm going to...
Gun, whip, bare hands of muscular lovers.
Imagine if I was like, and then they found somebody whipped to death. Who
Who
could
could
be
it have been?
responsible?
I reckon it will be the less muscular of the 2
Yeah, I
lovers.
think one of the muscular lovers is gonna cop it.
There was a less... so Lorenz
Oh,
was
no.
far less muscular than Philipson.
Wow.
So Lorenz...
Just give it up, mate.
Yeah.
Find a
I know.
different thing to be good at.
Yeah, but I feel like
kind.
if you're trapped on an island with the Baroness, that's all you know, being a
that's true.
gigolo to a powerful woman. So do we think, cute sneeze, do we think that Lorenz killed who? If Lorenz was the murderer.
No, I think Lorenz did the is
Oh, he's going to be murdered.
murdered. Yeah, I
Okay.
think one's going to be knocked off. And I think it's going to be I think it's going to be somebody who's going to use the excuse, you've still got another one, though. I mean, come on.
You got plenty, Baroness Eloise. You'll be right.
I didn't even kill the good one, Baroness Empress, all right?
So-
God.
Baroness Empress has big maniac energy.
Oh, she's insane. It rolls.
So maybe she kills off a Norm.
Yeah,
Maybe she kills off a
But the Whitmers are the only normal people on the island. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I would be more if I was intending on murdering someone. I would go for the Whitmers because I don't want to get bitten to death by
Yeah.
Ritter or Dawn.
And the Whitmers, you probably like, well, they're not ready for this. But I think any other set of lunatics on this island, you'd be like, well, they've got a whip or a gun, or they can hurl their teeth at you.
Exactly.
So
it's great to imagine the Empress Baroness walking towards one of the Ritter and Ritter chomping, walking towards her. That's a battle I want to see.
I do not fear the Ritters.
Okay, you're not afraid of them with their excessive mastication. And
Let's chew me to
powerful
death.
nudity.
Ooh, they're not going to
I feel like
swallow.
if you've ever played one of those fighting, like a Street Fighter style fighting game,
Yeah.
where like it's one fighter, but it's like they're stacked upon each other. I feel like that's the Ritters. They're like nude and one's on the other one's shoulders and they're snapping.
That's so scary.
This is going to be a Mortal Kombat battle for the ages.
And only one of them will chew you, the other one will gum you, and that's very frightening. So the Baroness, she was also known to have a string of outside lovers. So fishermen would come to the island and she would seduce them, boat captains and the like. And this made her kind of hated by both the Whitmers and the Ritters. They
Why?
saw, well, I just can't imagine. With your-
Totes jelly.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I had a string of salty sea dog lovers, which I assume is what they were feeling. They were so upset at the existence of this woman that they contacted the governor of the Galapagos. They were like, you got to do something about her. She's parading around with a whip and a pistol. He came around, and then him and the Baroness left and spent 4 weeks together because he had been seduced by her power.
Damn, she's good.
And then
yes.
when she came back, nothing was done because the governor was like, yeah, this woman rules. Let her build the island. In fact, he loved her so much that he gave her an additional 4 acres on the island. She was that powerful.
Wow. Do you think she was super hot or she was 1930s super hot?
I can actually get a pic. If you want to look on your phone, you're welcome to research along. If you look up the Baroness Eloise, you can find a picture of not only her, but Philipson and Lorenz, her 2 lovers. This is a weirdly, excessively documented time. So there was a documentary, I think, called like Satan of the Islands or something. And it's like
Called Island Pervs.
Yeah, island pervs, and then in brackets at war. There's a whole bunch of like video evidence and stuff like that. So yeah, if you go Baroness Eloise, you might find a picture of her and her lovers, possibly. Please,
Baroness.
those playing along at home.
Eloise.
Yeah, Eloise. Do you want the full name? Werborn de Wagner Bouquet or Bouquet? Bouquet? I don't know.
Well, it was bucket, but
Hank-
she said bouquet.
Yeah, yeah. That might be the picture, that black and
That
white
one?
one. Yes, that is. That's the picky of them all. Yeah, please, those playing along at home, also look them up.
Come on. But she could have just been charming.
Oh yeah, I
Charming
think
is a completely
she had a
different-
lot of power. So like,
Yeah.
there's something sexy about power. Like I get
Probably
it.
do the thing with you whip the candle.
Oh
candle off.
yes.
Very cool.
She like puts a hand around your chin or whatever, and then whips a candle, and you're like, I'm seduced.
That's right.
Color me seduced, Baroness. I'm in.
This was a 2-step process.
So.
Would you like some island? Please don't go home.
So, her lovers, Philipson and Lorenz, they begin to fight.
Oh.
Because Philipson, being the more powerful lover, he starts taking out, I don't know, possibly, people have speculated, jealousy at the Baroness's string of other lovers, or maybe he just went island crazy, but he began to physically beat and to emotionally harass Lorenz. Lorenz was so upset that occasionally he would flee to the Whitmer's house and hide out there for a little bit until the Baroness marched in, grabbed him, and took him home.
Oh, no.
Does this change where you think the murder is coming from? Or you
No.
no, I still think
Because
it's...
the Whitmers are the normal ones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she's blaming them.
Oh, so she's blaming the Whitmers for stealing away Lorenz.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Whitmers might. Okay, they might be, but maybe Lorenz turns it around and he's like, I'm sick of this.
I've got to do something about
I've
it.
gotta drop a murder on someone.
Yeah, I got to drop a turtle on someone's
that's
head.
right.
Absolutely.
Someone's about to wear a turtle as a hat.
So tensions rise between all of the families, okay, on the island. Well, are they a family, Baroness and her two lovers?
I like to think of them all as one big family. And families fight, don't they?
Absolutely. Hey, that's life. Family's
Gilligan's
complicated.
Island, yeah.
Yeah, this is what Gilligan's Island was basically about. So one day,
I think the Harlem Globetrotters did it.
oh no, for a very special episode. They came in, murdered everyone, fled.
Yeah.
So one day, Heinz Whitmer, so the male Whitmer, he finds the Baroness and Phillipson fucking in the only fresh water source.
Oh, come on, guys.
I know.
Step too far.
What are you doing?
That can't have been the first time either.
Oh no! The moment you see that, you're like, this is one of your many fucking spots, and that is such a shame. He's furious.
They drink from it too.
I know, yeah. Well, that's sort of crazy to me when I read. Like, that's your freshwater source. She doesn't have any special Empress freshwater source. She is drinking from the same fuck pool everyone else is. So, obviously, Whitmer's mad, and he threatens to kill them both. That night,
Motive.
yeah, well, but that night, the Baroness gets Ritter, so the Nietzschean family. He gets their donkey, and he lets it loose in the.
Wait. No, carry on. This is donkey.
Okay, yeah.
You're on an island.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah, I
have
had
a
to take a
donkey.
moment for it to settle, but it was a quick moment.
Yeah.
That's good. I appreciate that. So she took their donkey and let it loose in the Whitmer's garden. In the morning, Heinz Whitmer, he wakes up, sees the donkey, is like, the donkey's gone rabbit, and shoots and shoots it in the head, killing their donkey.
Motive.
Motive. So we got two possible motives there,
And
don't
weapon.
we?
We know there's at least 2 guns on the island.
That's true. We got 2 pistols, 1 whip, metal teeth. Those are our possible murder weapons
Yeah.
right now.
That's so pass-ag as well.
absolutely.
Just like waking up and being like, oh, the donkey's gotten loose. Knowing whose donkey it is,
Yeah.
the maniacs that own the donkey, and being like, I'm making this choice.
I can pick this up by its lead and walk it back, but I shan't.
No, the donkey's rabid, which is crazy because presumably the donkey was eating from their, say, vegetable patch. Like, it's not doing anything crazy, but he's
The
like...
Baroness is probably boned in.
Yeah,
So-
that's true.
It's like it's like scurvy Cluedo over here. This is really building
So,
up.
so let's explore our possible motives.
Yes.
Do you think currently, and I think this is kind of true, everyone has a motive to kill everyone else?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
pretty
yes.
So you
From
would...
being insane, not being insane,
Jealousy,
jealousy,
dead donkey.
too much fuck in the water.
Because do you think, so say somebody kills your donkey, and
Oh,
then
no.
you're like, yeah, it's always sad.
Wait, I got to check on my donkey.
Check your webcam that you have always viewing your donkey just to make sure. Whew. So somebody kills your donkey. You're like, you killed my donkey. And you're like, yes, but the person who put the donkey in that position was a third party. Where do you place the blame?
Oh, if
I
my
still think on
donkey-
the murder. The person doing the shooting, I think.
That's fair. Would you in any way blame the Baroness?
no.
Say you were in Ritter's position? No, that's fair. Okay, no, totally.
So your cat gets loose in my yard because Meso put the cat there.
Yeah.
And I
I'm
killed
a
the
bad
cat.
little boy.
Yeah, I'm like, but did Meso know that you were going to kill the cat?
Oh, that's true.
There's
you
the
know
difference.
everybody else's.
Yeah.
If you're like, I know this guy well enough to know he's going to do that.
He'll
Maybe you
shoot the
do
donkey,
share some
yeah.
of the blame,
It seems like the Baroness to me was trying to stir up trouble. Another thing the Baroness would do, so...
No, if
No, she seems like the shy, retiring type. I don't think she'd do that.
if everyone knew each other that well that the Baroness was like, I'll put the donkey in the yard, it'll kill them. That means then Witness saw the donkey, they were like, well, he knew.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, fair.
I still blame Whitmer for being like, he knows what'll happen.
So another thing the Baroness would do is, Ritter, so Frederick and Dor, they would send away like letters about their exploits, and this is how they became kind of famous, I guess.
Yeah.
But the Baroness hit a point where she would intercept those letters and change the narrative so that they were all about the Baroness. They would become, the Baroness would make herself the protagonist of Frederick and Dor's own stories. So that's just another little tidbit of stuff she would do. She also loved spreading rumors and gossip on the island, which I love because there are like 10 people. Like,
Yeah, right.
there's not much gossip you can spread, but she did. So,
I hear the Ritters were boning in the only clean water source. That's what I heard. That people are saying it.
Just a week later, I hear the water doesn't taste as good anymore.
someone sort of spoiled it, kind of. So, a while in, suddenly one night, they hear a terrible scream echo throughout the island. The next morning, they wake up, and Phillipson and the Baroness have disappeared. What do you think
Baroness.
happened?
Oh, well, I mean, maybe they were murdered and screamed in unison.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because they're best pals. Or they've done the murder and they're on the run.
And they're screaming with joy.
Screaming with joy, exactly.
I can't work.
They're doing the Nutrigrain scream.
That's way scarier to hear at night on an
Yeah.
island than a scream of pain.
They're just tumbling down the waterfall.
Yeah.
Just,
Into the water, onto the yacht, away. Yeah, so what do we think happened?
I can't work out whether I think the Baroness can never die or has to die immediately.
or she's been dead for years.
Yeah, she's a spectre on the
Yeah.
island, a ghoul, a ghost.
Well, who's died? I think we'll know. We'll have more clues if we know
Sure.
who's
Yeah,
been.
tell us the dead
been-
person.
So they wait. They find that the Baroness and Philipson have disappeared. They're gone. Blame falls to Lorenz. Because by Frederick and Dor, because they're like, Lorenz, he was the weaker lover. He was always hiding out with the Whitmers. You know, I think Lorenz did it. And then, suspiciously, Lorenz decides to flee. Well, he doesn't flee. He doesn't decide to flee. He's not like, I'm running away. He's like, well, my Baroness and the more powerful lover have left. Maybe I'll go as well. It's also probably worthwhile noting that the Baroness, she went everywhere with a copy of a picture of Dorian Gray. Everywhere. That's something she had with her whip and her pistol. She also had a copy of a picture of Dorian Gray with her.
Oh my God.
And that was still there when she disappeared. So it wasn't like she took that with her, and all of her stuff was still
Whistle
in
and
the house.
Pip. Nope.
I mean,
Pip
she
and
was
Whistle?
carrying it at the
Nope.
time, and they attempted to stab her. She's gone straight into that. So
That would have been clever.
Would've-
She should have
would've
brought it
saved
with her. Man.
Whip and pistol?
Well, yes. Whip and pip. Oh, that's what you were trying to say. Pip, whip. Pip, whipple.
Were they on the island or did she
No,
leave with
I
those?
think she left with those. Yeah, as far as I can tell, but I might be wrong on that one.
Or
Maybe
she
she
was
left-
bundled up. The body was bundled up with the whip and the pistol.
Yes, possibly. Man, imagine if they'd killed her with her own whip. What a way to go.
Not pistol?
I went, well, pistol's a boring death. Whip to death. That's intense. So Lorenz, he left the island. And he was intending to go back to Germany. But he never arrived. And then 2 months later, on the island of... where is it? Morchina, they found Lorenz's body as well as a Norwegian ship captain. This island, miles away from the island they were trying to go to, which I think was San Cristobal. So San Cristobal, say, is to the north. They went east completely. They arrived on this volcanic island, which has no plant life or anything, and they were found mummified on the shore.
Oh my goodness! So
What?
the two men, the weak lover and a Norwegian ship captain, mummified.
Mummified on the shore of this island, on the beach.
And when you say mummified,
Yeah.
like professionally, or is that some sort of term? If you like get too much lava on you, you become mummified.
I think if you get dry enough when you're dead, you will
become
mummify.
mummified, right?
Yeah, it doesn't mean that like people took his organs out, wrapped him in
right, yeah.
bandages. That would be a way more interesting mystery.
Because
that's
if
what
that
you
were the case, I'm going to blame the Egyptians. That's what they're up to.
That's what they
they're
do.
all about.
That's their thing.
They're the best at it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
They've got it down to a fine art.
Yeah. So what do we think?
I reckon Lorenz made bad choices in his life, and this is unrelated, but still a terrible choice.
So you think Lorenz... So what is the bad choice here?
He got on a bad ship. He's like, I'll go back to Germany.
So he finds a Norwegian ship captain. He's like, I'm going back to Germany. The Norwegian ship captain's like, yes. And then just crashes into this
He
island.
becomes the number 2 of the Norwegian ship captain. Did they find the ship nearby?
I actually couldn't find that. I got two different sources. So some people said that they found the ship bobbing in the sea, like at the shore of the island. And some sources just said that they found the mummified bodies.
Well, if they just found their mummified bodies, even if the ship... So if the ship was there, that means they're the only 2 who escaped.
Yeah, that's
Shipwreck.
true. Yeah, that is interesting because I feel like unless the boat was quite small, you would have a bigger crew.
Yeah, which means that either they just got booted out and killed,
Yeah.
which is very funny, and again, I blame Lorenz and his terrible choices. Just that led to this.
Lorenz.
He was probably in this relationship for years, and then it was like, well, I'm finally free, and was like, well, I don't know what freedom means anymore.
I like to think he was like, I'm finally free, and then a domineering ship captain was like, get on the boat, and he's like, oh, thank God, I'm comfortable again.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness me.
Or he was so annoying to the crew that they're like, oh my God, can you stop
We're
falling
dumping
over the
you and your
ship,
Norwegian
Captain?
friend on
It's a
this.
mutiny, and he's like, I'll go with him. And everyone's like, you don't have to.
Lorenz, you dense motherfucker.
He's like,
please
no,
don't.
I don't know what else to do. I can't make any decisions on my own.
I missed out on following my lover once. I won't do it a second time.
I'll mummify on this island. So also, in this time, some of the Baroness's clothing and items began to appear in Frederick and Dor's house. So some of the stuff, she had quite an elaborate,
Silks. Spices from the Orient.
yeah, stuff like, she apparently always walked around in very, like, this is such a weird thing, that Frederick and Dor hated her because she always walked around in, like, revealing negligee and silks, but they were naked all the time.
I guess it's the difference between. Why am I defending him?
It's a cultural. It's a social thing. Like if you are wearing your underwear in public, it's embarrassing. But if you're at the beach,
that's
totally
true.
Normal,
yeah, then it's okay. She also, when she was not just in silk, she wore like really gaudy, clashing colors, and she had like this gaudy kind of palace on the island, like a castaway palace that she lived in. So I just assumed that with this, either hey, maybe the Ritters did kill her, or they were like, well, she's gone, and her house has a whole bunch of sick shit.
Never returned.
She never returned. They never found her or Lorenz's body, not Lorenz, her or Phillipson's body ever, or the ship. Right. They just, when asked, Dor, she said that she knew that the Baroness, because the Baroness had visited her the night before, that they were going to visit some millionaire friends in Tahiti.
Oh.
That classic excuse.
That email that I'm constantly getting. Come visit my millionaire friends. All we need is your bank account details, and you can come visit my millionaire friends in Tahiti.
The Baroness was, because evidently everything that was happening in Floriana, the island, was really, like, it was going straight out to the world. She was very famous, and nobody ever heard of her in Tahiti, none of that. So, look, how much you believe that, it's unclear. So, Frederick, the first person to arrive at the island with Dor, his wife, he dies from sour chicken. Okay?
I thought he was a vegetarian.
He was, which makes his sour chicken death very interesting.
Very suspicious, isn't it? Yeah.
So he dies from eating some sour chicken, or chicken that was infected with botulism. Okay. He eats it. Apparently so does Dor, but Dor is okay. And apparently the last thing Frederick says...
It's a real Princess Bride situation. One of them's developed an immunity to
botulism
chicken,
yeah. So what Frederick says as he's dying, his last words are, "I curse you forever," to Dor, his wife.
Wow.
So
that's an interesting thing for someone who follows Nietzsche.
But he's been holding that down for years.
Yeah.
It's like, one day I'm going to curse this wife of mine. One day, darling.
One day, pow, straight to the moon, but with a curse. So then Dor, her husband having died, leaves the island.
Okay.
And she writes a tell-all sort of book about what happened there. And the Whitmers remain on the island, and they kind of turned it into a tourism hub. And they're still there to this day. The Whitmers are living on the island. Their son, Rolf, or whatever his name was, who was born in a cave.
Boy, yes.
He became one of the main proprietors of the kind of hotels and stuff on the Galapagos Islands. So I guess the question is now we got to get into theories.
Okay.
Who did Dor poison her husband with off chicken? Who disappeared the Baroness? And Lorenz, I know we said maybe he mutinied himself.
Yes.
But why did Lorenz disappear onto that island to get mummified? What do we think happened on Floriana in the 1930s? What's our theories?
Big orgy that no one ever recovered from. No one had.
That might be it.
No one had a big enough discussion about it. Everyone was like, "Yeah, this will be fine. I'll be fine with this." And
then in the morning,
yeah, no one was fine with it.
Man, that's so easy to picture. The Baroness is like, look, let's bury the hatchet. Bygones be bygones. I'll come around to my big, gaudy island mansion. You're watching her make out with her lovers. Everyone's getting a little titillated. And then maybe you're kissing your wife in her gumless, her toothless mouth. And then the Whitmers are getting at it.
Let's get rid of the metal teeth, babe. Put them in your pocket. Oh, they don't wear clothes.
Yeah, I guess it is in a way that we've not really explored. It's a very horny island.
Yeah, very much so.
There's a lot of horniness happening.
You got maniacs. Princess Maniac,
yeah,
lovers of Princess Maniac, normies who have come to the island of maniacs.
Before we get into this orgy, which was what they called them, they're like, let's put this chicken out, and after the orgy, we'll remember to eat this chicken.
Yeah,
it's going to be so good.
It's going to be delicious.
Bit of a nightcap, yeah.
Yeah, well,
everyone dived into the orgy because it's what they thought their partner wanted.
Oh well, apparently both Dor and Margaret, so the two wives, they kind of apparently sort of subtly believed that their husbands were in love with the Baroness. So that was something that they were like, she's seduced you, you love the Baroness. So how true that is, it's unclear, but that's something that they both fervently believed. Which could give, I guess, a motive to Dor for poisoning her husband with off chicken.
But again, if she's poisoned herself,
yeah, that's true.
how does she manage? Like,
She ate the chicken as well, yeah.
yeah, was she like, let's? But I mean, what are the odds you would give somebody bad chicken and be like, well, that's going to do them in over a period of weeks.
Yeah, well,
You know what I mean?
botulism is a slow death,
And
yeah.
also, I would hope that I will survive this. Or maybe, and
Let's take that risk.
Even as like a murder-suicide situation, that is...
That's a wild way to
Again,
do
this
it.
This is an island with guns on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's so subtle because you're like, well, how could I have killed my husband with poisoned chicken if I ate the chicken?
Yeah, but-
see, now we're talking about
But
it.
it's but it's so risky.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, I mean, it's either I'll get away or I'll die of botulism. So
Yeah,
hey, I'm
maybe
willing
Dor
to
was
take
a
that.
loose unit.
I mean, what is there a cure? Is like a vaccine for botulism? Or can you, if you eat enough leafy greens, will
I'm not
cure your
sure. I
botulism?
don't think so because he died apparently a slow, agonizing, painful
right,
death on the
okay.
island. And they did have access to the outside world. So it would have been possible for someone to deliver medical treatment if it was available. So
Well, if he died such a slow, agonizing death, maybe the curse was not so much on how dare you poison me, it was why aren't you saving me?
that's fair. And yeah, the only reason we know that he cursed his wife is from the Lady Whitmer, Margaret, who was apparently there at the time. So in her story or telling of it, she says that he cursed his wife. But
But that's something you would say if you'd murdered the husband.
Ah.
You're like, well, I gotta throw the suspicion on somebody else.
I
Like the
guess,
wife.
imagine you're the Whitmers and you've come to this island and you've seen all the crazy shit happening and you see that this island is like a good tourism spot, which is what they
Yeah.
eventually turned it into. And you're
why
like,
wouldn't you just leave if it was full of weirdos?
exactly. But you're like, eventually I can get rid of everyone on this island and I can turn this into a profitable paradise.
Yeah. And this dumb little shack that we're living in,
Yeah.
we could be living in that
Exactly.
Baroness palace.
Yeah.
Maybe they poisoned the chicken, they hoped they'd both die.
Yeah, now that's not a bad idea. So apparently the poisoned chicken comes from there was a drought that happened on the island, which made any vegetables hard to eat.
What? There's no water. There's water everywhere.
The water's been fucked in, I guess. There's no water except that fucked in pond, and I don't want to use that. So that the Ritter and Frederick and Dor, they had chickens that they were raising for eggs. So it's presumably one of those chickens that got poisoned with botulism. Okay. So one of their own chickens. But the Whitmers somehow, I mean, how do you give botulism to a chicken? What is botulism?
Isn't that what Botox is made of?
Could be. Certainly
think
both
it
have
is,
bot
yeah.
in the name. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
and
when
it-
you
and
get
it-
Botox, you get botulism injected into your face, and it makes your muscles stop.
Well, there you go. Well, that's a frightening thing to happen to some chicken that you then eat.
Maybe they wanted a really beautiful chicken
Maybe it was
and
just
fucked it up.
It was like, listen, we're going to get rid of this family. We're going to get rid of all the family. So
Yeah.
tonight we'll shoot them. But then, as luck would have it, one of their chickens is not looking too hot. And
That's
they're like,
true. Yeah, I guess if
Just
you
take advantage, you know?
yeah, well, if they
Make hay
die,
while the sun shines, you know what I mean?
and even if he starts to die of botulism and the wife is okay, you could be like, "Are you really going to stay on the island? You know, your husband's dead.
Yeah.
You might as well go back to
Both leave, yeah.
Germany. Yeah, just get out of here, and then you get to control the island." So, all right, let's nut out the every so who do we think got rid of the Baroness? What happened to the Baroness? What is our theory there, Cass? Let's go down the line. Cass,
Okay.
what is your theory there?
My theory, okay, no, the Whitmers come in, they have capitalist ideals.
Yeah.
They come into a situation where everyone's just hedonistic. Uh-huh. They hate that. Mm-hmm. I reckon, because they heard a scream. Do you
Yeah.
know what kind of a scream?
No, they say a shrill scream. So they
But I mean,
They-
that could be an elaborate double bluff, couldn't it?
That's true. If you're
But they
stabbing
never-
someone and you do a high pitch, if you're Lorenz,
Yeah.
the weaker of the two lovers,
Yeah.
It scares you to kill.
Yeah.
That's your first time, and then by the second one, you're old hat, so you don't scream at all.
If
They
you're the
never-
Baroness and you're doing a murder,
Yeah.
maybe you could pretend you were being murdered.
that's
Be
clever.
like,
And then you flee.
Then you flee.
If you kill Philipson and then you flee. So is your theory that the Baroness killed Philipson, fled herself?
My theory is that the Baroness just got bored of the situation and was
That's
like,
very possible.
look, everybody knows my moves in this island. They know I'm sick of being the whip pistol woman.
I know all the gossip.
Exactly.
Time to go.
I'm bored. I'm just gonna go to another island or another location. I mean, and again, this is an era where you could just show up somewhere and be like, I'm the Baroness.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just roll up to another place and be like, actually, I'm a professor of physics here now, and I'm going to teach this class. And the university be like,
Okay.
I guess. Okay, so maybe that's what she's doing.
It's great to think that somewhere out there that the Baroness Eloise just slotted herself into a university and taught for like the last 30 years of her life for someone else.
I think she did that, and then Lorenzo was just like, well, I'm directionless now, so I'd better glom onto somebody else. And he took off and he found this
Mummified himself on an island.
Mummified himself, yeah, exactly.
I reckon what happened is that her copy of the picture of Dorian Gray was her painting of Dorian Gray. And Philip took it off of her. He finally managed to get it off of her. She dies.
Oh, and she mummified into a sea captain.
Oh my God.
She's the sea captain.
Whoa,
She crumbles
twist.
into ash.
Yeah.
He gets the book, becomes very beautiful and a lot younger, and is like, I get to be the Baroness now, and leaves to start a new island.
Powerful.
Lorenz wakes up and he's like, they didn't take me with them.
I'm going to go mummify myself on a volcano.
I'll find a new dad.
And who do we think, how do we think that the botulism death was suspicious or just happenstance? I think my theory genuinely is that the Whitmers got rid of everyone on the island to turn it into a
That's
capitalist
very
paradise.
intriguing.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's entirely possible that the Baroness got tired of it and was like, I'm going to start a new life somewhere. And then maybe at that point the Whitmers are like, one down,
Yeah.
one to go.
Yeah,
let's
that's
take
a
care
good
of it.
theory.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we've placed the blame on the Whitmers because I feel like no one does. In any of my reading, everyone's like, the Baroness, maybe
They're
Lorenz.
too normal.
They're too normal.
You can't live on an island
yeah.
of maniacs.
That island is built on blood. If you ever
Yeah.
go there, where they still run like a tourist establishment, let them know. And on that
you're
note,
right. They're still alive. So in that case, this is a parody. This is a work of
oh
parody.
yeah, this is all satire.
For legal purposes, I don't think they did murders.
Absolutely, me too.
Oh, no.
But wink.
What if they did? You know what I mean? What if they did it?
And on that note, I've been Jackson Bailey.
I've been Cass.
Oh, I've been Meso.
Get spooked, America.
Whoa,
Thank you so
my
much
God,
for
I'm spooking out right now.
Yay! Thank you so much for joining us.